you have an update on Marcus?
No, I won't really have an update on him. It's his ankle, that I know, and he just tweaked it. Didn't appear to swell up too much initially, but you never know how those things react overnight, and still got adrenaline running through his body, so we'll know a lot more about Jamarcus tomorrow. Burke, yeah, he was a late scratch. He actually didn't practice 2 days ago. Had something very similar to what Rink had with his stomach. And then yesterday he came in and he felt completely fine, was at our shoot-around in our film session this morning, and right before his warm-up at about 60 on the clock, he had to go back into the bathroom and started throwing up again. So he was a late scratch, obviously, and told Braden he was going to get the opportunity to go out there and start, and told everybody else, be ready when your name's called and go out and make a positive contribution to the game. And I thought Leo and Jared were unbelievable in that first half. I thought Braden got us off to a really good start, making some effort, hustle plays, getting on the offensive boards. And then Jared came in when Braden got the 2 fouls and really picked up for him. But those 2 guys combined get 7 offensive rebounds. That's huge for our team. And, the other thing about it, Rink obviously had some struggles going on in the first half. And when you have a guy that can go in, Leo, I thought was terrific in those last few minutes, and it allows the Rink to regroup. And I thought Rink was so much better in the last 20 minutes of that game.
You just touched on this, but how do you describe what you got from Jared and Leo today?
Yeah, I mean, it just when you go in the game, you don't want to disrupt the flow, and you've got some momentum. You don't want to give it back when you go to your bench. And I'll say this: Jared had his best week of practice that he's had since he's been here. He did a great job coming in, getting extra work, getting extra film, and getting extra conditioning. And I thought it paid off for him, and that's great when you have those types of things and you see how that hard work pays off. That's what this thing's all about. And we're going to need those guys down the stretch. We get 5 games left, and then into the postseason. And it'd be nice to be able to get guys a little break here and there. Price obviously was terrific all game long and played 35 minutes, which for him is pretty pedestrian, with what he normally plays. But it was great to see him. I mean, he had that thing stuck on automatic there in the first half, and I thought our guys did a great job finding him in transition. He's obviously a ton of attention in the half court, so being able to get him freed up in transition was big today.
Price, but also just the offense as a whole to just kind of take the lid off and get the flow going again. How encouraging was that to see after the last week?
Yeah, it was really encouraging, Robin. And we went through a stretch in the first half where we didn't put the ball in the basket. I thought we really were rushed in our paint decisions, and that led to a couple blocks. It led to a couple turnovers. Once we got in there and touched the paint and sprayed it out, we got really good looks. And I thought we left some on the board as well. But once we slowed down and made the right decisions, I thought overall we did a solid job. Penn State, they're one of the best teams in turning you over. I think we ended up with 11. A couple of those were unforced. Ball goes through our hands on a few of them. A couple late, but I thought for the most part we did a good job taking care of it.
The overall importance of allowing a player like Rink to have those moments to regroup and to turn a game.
Yeah, it's important, and obviously when you lose a guy like BK, he's so important to what we do. And I think you saw that last year when BK had his injury and what happened to our team when we didn't have him available. He just does so much for us. He can play through him. He can handle the ball. He can play against pressure. He can finish. He can rebound. He does a lot of things for this team. He's our best analytically. When you look at him on the defensive end, he's the best we've got. So when you lose a guy like that, it gives you a little bit of anxiety. But again, I'm proud of how those guys hadn't gotten a lot of time, how they went in there and impacted the game.
The energy that Braden brought, is that an extension of what you were talking about yesterday, that his body's feeling better and he's more capable of doing those kind of things?
100%, yeah, and he is. I met with him yesterday afternoon, and I just told him, I said, I need that fearless Frager back. And I thought he went out and made listen, he's going to start making shots. He hit a couple for us today. But I need, a guy to go get extra possessions for us and rebounds and playing with the swagger. And I thought he got back to that today. So that's huge. That's huge. Obviously, we need his production. And, for him to go out and play the way he did after having a week and a half of struggles, a lot of that, I think, was due to the injury. He told me yesterday that was the best he had felt in a practice in a long time since he got injured. So, I thought that part of it is physically he's feeling a lot better, and it was good to see that carry over to the floor.
Set the tone on the offensive glass.
100%. Yeah, he did. He did go out and get those extra possessions. We needed those early. Yep.
Almost a 7-minute stretch where they didn't score there in the first half. What do you see on that end of the floor that stuck out to you?
Yeah, I thought we had really good activity on that end of the floor. I thought our double teams were sharp. I thought we rotated well out of them. Second half, they got loose for about a 5 or 6 minute stretch. When we got it up to 28, I think they cut it back down to 14 at one point. That can't happen. So I didn't love that stretch, but we had some really good defensive possessions out there as well. And again, it was good to see the ball going in the basket. Now we got to combine both. For the most part, we did that today, but we're certainly going to need that moving forward.
You're coming out of, Brett, is there a sense of relief after a performance like this?
No, it's a great win for us, and now we got to win the recovery day tomorrow. I know I talk a lot about that, but it's important. These guys have to get back. If you didn't get a lot of minutes, get in there, get your shots up, get a little conditioning in. If you need to sit in the ice tub, sit in the ice tub. And we need to be ready to get back on the floor on Monday and play a Maryland team that's playing their best basketball this season right now.
The guys overall took the message about it's not reinventing the wheel, it's just fixing the execution stuff and getting back to who they were before.
Yeah, I thought our flow was good. We talk a lot about playing within the flow of the possession, whether it's rink at the elbow or rink at the top of the floor and then cut off him. For the most part, I thought we took a step in the right direction in that today. But we made our open shots today as well. And, we had not been shooting the ball very well the previous couple games. So to be able to take the lid off, hopefully that's a confidence builder for these guys. Thanks, guys.